Hey folks, it's Mangrel. Welcome back to the channel. I'm checking out these motors, the Skystars 1404 3800 kV motor. Generally speaking, I prefer not to make videos on motors. Motor testing is so subjective. The videos take a long time to make, and the videos don't seem to do very well on YouTube in terms of views. However, I fly smaller quads. So I fly 2.5 inch, 3 inch, and 4 inch quads. And those quads are perfect for a 1404 size motor. And I did see a video from Chris Rosser where he tested like 15 or 20 different 1404 motors. And he said that these motors were his favorite and the best overall performer. And I want to see if that's the case, especially given the price tag of these motors. I purchased these from AliExpress. I will link you in the video description. On my smaller quads, I've been flying the iFlight Zing motors. So whether it's the Zing 1 or the Zing 2 you see over here, 1404, 4600 kV, I've been flying these Zing motors for a good 4 or 5 years. So I want to see how the Skystars compare, especially when they're almost half the price of these motors here. I do also fly these. These are the T-Motor 1604, which I really like. But they're a little bit too large for a quad of this size. This is a 3 inch quad over here. Doing a quick unboxing of the motors, really there isn't much in the package, which shows you their budget oriented nature. All we really have are the 2 motors and some screws. Looking at the screw bag, all we really have are 2 different sizes of cap screws. There is no C-clip, there is no extra bushings, so quite bare minimum here. Now looking at the motor a bit closer, it's fine, nothing too spectacular. I do like the fact that the body and the top are one piece, so it is a unibell design. I also do like these white plastic protectors here, and the idea here is if you do put in a screw that's too long, the screw will not go and touch the windings, the coils over here, and damage the motor. So that's a nice touch as well. Now touching the cables actually feel quite thin. I do see that they're labeled as a 24 gauge cable, but they definitely feel a lot thinner than the iFlight Zing motor. So all I can think of is that the sheathing is way thinner. So these are 24 gauge versus the 26 gauge on the iFlight Zing 2 motors. Now checking the weight, the Skystars weighs 9.63 grams versus 9.77 on the Zing 2. So weight-wise, they're pretty much identical. I've got the motors now installed on my Quadmula Siren F35 3.5 inch Freestyle. They do look okay. They are smaller and shorter than the iFlight Zing 2. I also do notice that the color of the motors is not consistent. So on this one here, the gold and the blue is definitely darker than this one here. All right, folks, we're out on the first test of the new Skystars 1404 3800 kV motors. I went ahead and I did a full pit tune using Pit Toolbox once again. The pit tune I ended up with was very similar to the pit tune I had on the Zing 2 motors, but just slight differences here and there. So weather is a little bit chilly, so we do expect poor battery performance like what we got previously on our test in recent months. But I'm going to go and do a little bit of a slow flight around here just to make sure that the motors are performing okay and that the pit tune is performing okay. Let's fly between these trees. And so far the motors do seem quite smooth. Now again, with motor testing, it's very subjective. So it's possible it's just a better tune, maybe better weather today as well. That's why. Let's go full power. So definitely the motors do feel weaker on punch out. It's possible it is the weather. It's possible that it is the lower kV of the motors, but I do feel like I have way finer control. And I think that's because of the lower kV giving me that finer control. But so far flying okay. Let's go do another split S here, full power. Yeah, not too bad. Battery is sagging quite a bit. We're down to 3.65 volts, but that is the colder weather. You can see I got my toque on. All right, what can we do here? Let's go do a little bit more flying around. Let's go around here. Let's go in between those trees. Faster, faster, faster. Full power look back. Yeah, definitely feeling the reduced power. So I'm already at 2 minutes in average battery voltage is down to 3.6. So if this was the summertime, I would be coming back in because this flight would have been done. But let's see if I can push it a bit more because it is the colder weather. Dare I do a full power punch out? Let's do a full power punch out. Full power. Yeah, way. Oh, something happened. We've lost something. Yeah, we got some sort of weird behavior. I'm actually kind of glad I didn't disarm there. I think we lost the motor. We have a weak motor in this batch. Definitely unhappy with this behavior. I've never had this happen before. And I guess, you know what they say, you get what you pay for. So we'll look at this again in the recording to see what the heck happened there. But on that note, I'm coming in. I'm not flying this motor anymore. Chris Rosser, maybe on the bench this was a good motor, but in practice, first flight out, that was quite scary. And I'm glad I wasn't over any buildings, over any trees, anything like that. All right, let's take these motors off and put them in the junk pile. I just got back from the testing of these motors, and as much as I wanted to love these motors, especially given the recommendation from Chris Rosser, whom I've got the utmost respect for, there are issues here. And the issues range from something as simple as the color difference between these two motors here to an outright motor failure. When I was flying this around slowly, doing the odd freestyle maneuver, these motors actually felt great. The quads felt very smooth, the controls felt amazing, nothing to point to what was to come. When I start to really push this quad, that's where we found an actual motor failure. And you can see in the video, and I guess the benefit of having props in view, this motor here ended up actually desyncing, or I guess stopping. And before you say a desync is very normal, that's the first time I've experienced, I guess, quote unquote desync in my 5 to 6 years of FPV. And this quad is as built and tested in prior videos. The only difference are the motors. So you can't even say your ESC failed or your battery failed. There are no other variables here except for the motor. And as I spin this motor here, this motor doesn't feel right. So if I spin this, this feels very normal. This here feels 2 or 3 times more coggy than the one back here. So definitely there's some sort of quality issue, and this motor here, I dare say, is defective. Let me pose a question to my viewers out there. Given what you just saw, and given how I nearly completely lost this quad, would you give these motors a second chance? And I will leave this decision up to my viewers. If you say yes, you would give this a second chance, I will go ahead and swap out this motor here with a new one and then do another test. And just bear in mind, these motors were purchased by me, so this will be an out-of-pocket cost. If you say no, I will go back to my T motor and my Zing 2 motors, and I will chalk this up to hopefully a nice video. Hopefully you like this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and stay tuned for more videos.